Like I said, we're continuing with our discussion, African solutions to African problems, and this is awesome. I'm just loving the fact that Africans are now beginning to wake up and say we are smelling the coffee as if it hasn't been brewed. It's been brewed over the years, but guess what? We've been bystanders. It's one of those moments where you realize, okay, people would go to meetings to discuss you, and you are actually not there. They make a decision where you are concerned. This is Africa Youth Month, and we are actually joined by PAICTA, which is a Pan-African Information Communication Technology Association, which is an organization whose mandate and purpose seeks to act as a digital transformative body in the interest of ICT, SMMEs, labor unions, women, and youth through meaningful professional engagements with the respective governments, corporates, multinational private entities, and Africa Union. And like what somebody said earlier, Eric Knight said, we really need this because given what COVID have done to our countries, affected our livelihoods and so forth, it actually makes a lot of sense that good day. If you have anything connected, whether your YouTube or your Facebook, may you actually exit or mute it, because it's always going to have some echoes in the background. So it's better you mute on YouTube, mute on Facebook. And if you are sharing, make sure that it's all muted so that it does not interrupt with what we're saying, even the quality of the video that's gonna be saved. So welcome, PAICTA. I hope everybody is here with us. This is my favorite people. Good afternoon. I see Geraldine. Geraldine, how are you doing?
Hi, Martha. How are you?
I'm doing very, very, very well. I'm doing very well. And Risuna, may you kindly unmute. I want to greet you. How are you doing? I see Reiti Chembura. I see Mr. Sonwa Mdwaba, who is the president of PAICTA. Thank you so much for being here. I see Simba. And okay, I see myself. I see some.
And the rest of the PAICTA group.
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. I see some. Okay. I think there are some who are struggling with their network to get in, but I hope that they're gonna be here. I'm trying to make sure that we don't have any noises. Okay. Let's be here with everybody. I see Ronnie Goodman. We're saying, I got it. Hello, PAICTA. Sahalo is saying, we are within. Retsene, thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, I still hear the background. Someone's background is just, I don't know. Okay. Right. Okay. I think network for others is not really good. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this session. We are celebrating our Africa Youth Month, and which is with the 4 E's as the theme. But today we are actually focusing on entrepreneurship and the power of engagements in creating the Africa we want. It's really not very easy to start preaching entrepreneurship. Okay, entrepreneurship has been our thing as Africans, but I don't know we just woke up and we become all intellectual and wanting to be too educated to touch the soil or to to start anything from zero. So I'll just run down to those who just tuned in. This is Martha Matarenda Shumba on a radio of 54 African Panorama with PAICTA, which is the Pan-African Information Communication Technology Association. We are with their youth department and some of their departments to just share what this entrepreneurship and the Youth of Month has in store for us. So entrepreneurship, as you should know, is the act of creating business while building and scaling it to generate a profit. And we haven't been much focused on that. We've been focused on a whole lot of stuff. And I would like to invite Mr. Resuna Maluleke to introduce PAICTA, what PAICTA is all about and what their youth department is all about. Resuna, are you with us?
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Martha, for having us, and good day to the listeners and viewers in all different platforms. Just to begin, the Pan-African Information and Communication Technology Association, which is in short PAICTA, is a movement or an organization that is in pursuit of digital equity in Africa. So the youth chapter, therefore, was established to focus primarily on bridging the gap, the digital gap, to improve participation of young people in the digital economy by exposing them to opportunities for the fourth industrial revolution in Africa and for Africa. So our responsibility as the youth chapter is to create a platform for developing these youth to evolve as future leaders of society in the digital era by equipping them with skills, resources, networking opportunities for them to grow individually and collectively, and respect for the law, discipline, civic sense, and building sustainable knowledge and support system for the youth to reach their full potential. And in line with PAICTA objectives, which is the objectives of the mother body, we are established or we exist for advocacy for the inclusion of all youth to actively participate in the digital era. Number two, advocacy for the inclusion of the youth in strategic economic projects within ICT industry, to expose young people with an interest in ICT to opportunities through the establishment of digital innovation factories in Africa. And then providing technical and non-technical digital skills for the youth, supporting youth-owned SMEs in ICTs, develop a mentorship and coaching program to assist and groom these youngsters, and establish a presence of PAICTA in universities, workplaces, and communities. This chapter, Martha, will serve as a platform for the youth to learn both technical and non-technical skills. And then to become a member, one can subscribe on www.paicta.org and be part of the solution.
Okay. Thank you so much.
That's in a nutshell.
Okay, you can go on.
It's a pleasure, man. No, right, saying that's all who we are. So if people want to subscribe, they can go on to www.paicta.org.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Resuna Maluleke, who is an entrepreneur, development consultant, and also heading the Continental Youth Department of PAICTA. And today our topic is on youth entrepreneurship in Africa beyond fourth industrial revolution. And I see some are still struggling with the networks as I see Hadi has been kicked out already, but I think we can work with what we have. And our first panelist is going to be Resuna Maluleke, who has just introduced PAICTA, who is the head of youth at continental level, who is his topic is the importance of entrepreneurship and engagement in solving African problems. And we are followed in by Mr. Reiti Chemvura, who is a youth ambassador of the Zimbabwean chapter, the importance of youth in economic development. And we are followed in by our guest, who is a professional consultant, a speaker, a scholar on entrepreneurship and strategy, Ms. Hadi Manakana. And we have our fourth panelist, Geraldine, who is the chairperson of PAICTA Zimbabwean chapter, on growing brands online and small business growth. And we also have Simba from PAICTA Zim chapter, leading the business development and technology commercialization, how ICT is an untapped opportunity in Africa and how it can solve day-to-day Africa questions and Africa questions and African problems. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. I know that your networks are not really that good. Some of you, I see people are just being kicked out, but we're gonna just carry on, and I'm gonna go back to you, Risuna, to share with us the importance of entrepreneurship and engagements in solving African problems. Risuna, are you okay?
Thank you once again, Martha. Yes, thank you once again, Martha. I don't know, since we are streaming live on YouTube, I don't know if this is where I say, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel,
Okay.
But just to begin the channel, the discussion, I am of the view that this discussion is very important because the African population on its own is very young, with about 60% of the people being youth. And earlier this month, as we have stated, we celebrated Africa Youth Month. And just to give an oversight, particularly focusing on South Africa, can you still hear me?
Yes, I will hear you. We hear you. You can go on.
Oh, no, okay, no, thank you. So as I was just saying that, just to give an oversight, particularly focusing on South Africa, we are sitting with a youth unemployment rate of about 34.1%, of which when you look at the expanded definition, we have about 55% of the youth being unemployed. So what is the importance of entrepreneurship in this regard? Through research and experience in our economic struggles, we can all agree that entrepreneurship is our hopeful solution for all the economic ills. That is to, number one, help unlock job creation, build the economy and foster economic growth, and finally, to fight the triple scourge of poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Martha, I believe that the pursuit of entrepreneurship will be given enough support as any other career path as part of sustainable career development, not just as an alternative to traditional unemployment. I think one of the biggest problems that we have in Africa is that, or actually even worldwide, you find that entrepreneurship is considered as an alternative to the traditional employment or careers. Now,
that's right.
Job opportunities are shrinking and job security is vanishing, and the African economies are faced with uncertainty. It is really saddening. Part of available policy and a plethora of financial and non-financial support, we still have a marginal success with entrepreneurship as a continent. And therefore, what do we do? What are we supposed to do? I think as the youth, we should now organize ourselves and start asking important questions that if it is not us, then we should be wondering who is speaking on us. That is the first thing. We should be wondering who is speaking on our behalf, We should be wondering who is taking charge of shaping the future that we anticipate for ourselves. And we should also interrogate existing policies to establish whether we need to write more policies or modify the existing ones to fit the current context, Also, now with the fourth industrial revolution, another question that we need to ask ourselves is how can African countries use technology to promote entrepreneurship? First, I would like to agree with the former head of state, President Mbeki of South Africa, that Africa is rich in literature, which is just left in academic institutions with no one utilizing it for the better good. I think we need to enforce and implement the existing policies through government partnerships with the private sector and NGOs.
That's right.
This calls for an agency in collaborations, So the very first thing, if we want to understand the importance of entrepreneurship, is when all the stakeholders in society collaborate for the better good. Just to wrap things up, I know that we are working with time and we also started late. So just to wrap things out, number one, we need to establish institutions that are intentional about offering entrepreneurial development, incorporating the entrepreneurial mindset, which covers adaptive skills such as digital literacy, recognized by the International Labour Organization, the World Economic Forum, African Union, as critical for the 21st century or global economy. Accessible entrepreneurial education will help instill an entrepreneurial mindset in young Africans. Number two, the other problem is young entrepreneurs in Africa are often overlooked. And now we need to create platforms like this one, where we ask the young entrepreneurs what they need through sustained dialogue with an objective of developing high impact youth owned SMEs for job creation. I would like to quote Victor et al. 2017 in their paper, Developing Entrepreneurship in Africa. They recommend that to support entrepreneurship development, Africa needs broad financial inclusion and state institutions that are more effective at enforcing contracts. Central to all efforts, there must be willingness and buy-in from all parties. We need policies to be enabled for youth to access funding and establish their own enterprises. Another thing of importance as far as entrepreneurship is concerned is the use of technology. The use of technology should not be perceived as a replacement of humans, but for the use by humans. We should learn before machines overtake us and learn more than we do. I'd like to quote one academic, Dr. Stella Vuma, who cautions us that the adoption of digital technology is more like a conditional statement, which is influenced by various factors, of which on top is the responsibility of policymakers. And in this, I was mostly captured by assertions on access, and I quote, "We must be careful of creating a biased economy. The adoption of digital technologies must reduce rather than increase the digital divide. At the end, access to the internet is becoming a human right." So when we're looking at all these, when we talk about the importance of entrepreneurship and we talk about engagement, these are some of the things that we need to bring to the table as far as engagement is concerned, in line with the importance of entrepreneurship that I stated earlier. Lastly, we should not look at engagement through the lenses of conversations only, but the involvement of all stakeholders in action. We must have little talk, because as Africa, we have been talking, we are people of dialogues and so on, but we must have the involvement of all stakeholders in action for sustainable youth entrepreneurship development in Africa as a continent. I believe if given a chance, I am certain that as youth, we can create solutions to most of our challenges. As the youth, we should not be apologetic about taking up the space as the former Miss Universe empowered us. Thank you, Martha. I think your mic is off, Martha.
Sorry. Thank you so much. Technology sometimes in Akshaya. Thank you so much, Risuna, for such a great presentation. And I loved what you said, which sums up to nothing for us without us. And we haven't been really included in decision making where young people are concerned, and also what you said that the youth are overlooked and access to internet should be a human right. And regarding the youth inclusion and the importance of youth in economic development, I would like to call in Mr. Reiti Chemvura to share on that, who is a UZ student and the youth ambassador for Zimbabwe chapter. Ray, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Martha. Can you hear me?
Yes. Very well.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the importance of youth when it comes to economic development. And I believe that the youth have an important role to play when it comes to, the development of Africa as a continent and the various nations that we find in Africa. Take, for instance, we have the population of Africa, and having close to 60% of that population being the youth. This alone can tell you that the youth are an important factor if we are to drive Africa forward, if we are to develop Africa and, move it forward as a continent. So I believe that as youths in Africa, we should start developing that entrepreneurship mind. We should start moving out of our comfort zones, getting into the world, having innovations, creating things that help us to move Africa forward. It is no longer time for us to stay behind and complain that the ministry is doing this, is not doing this for us, the government is doing this, is not doing this for us. My question would be, what is it that you are doing to complement the efforts of the ministry, to complement the efforts of the government? So I believe that as the youth of Africa, we need to start taking action. We need to start, moving with the things that we will be saying. It's not about talking and talking and talking alone, but it is also about us, taking up positions, taking up spaces, like Risuna has said, in the world, and moving the African continent forward. I also believe that the youth in Africa, they should be involved or included when it comes not only to entrepreneurship issues, they should also be involved and included in the governance of Africa, governance issues. When you see most panels that we have on discussions, maybe from the African Union, from the United Nations, if we are to go, global, you see that issues that are discussing or that are being discussed concerning youth are actually being discussed with a panel that is more than 60 or 70% of the people actually not being youths. So what is it, that is wrong with us? What is it, that is wrong with the world that we live in? When we are talking of youth issues, we need to have the youth on board. We need to involve them. We need to include them. If we are having a panel that is talking about the youth, let us have 10% of those people being the elderly, and let the 90% of the people filling up those spaces, let them be the youth, because the youth are the future of this African continent. The youth are the future of our countries. So I believe that the youth should be involved when it comes to politics. They should be involved when it comes to social issues, entrepreneurship, even those grants that are granted to youth by the government. The youth should take up all those things. The youth should be involved. You can't just come and say, maybe we have decided to have maybe 10 seats for the youth in parliament, or 20 seats for the youth in parliament. Have you consulted the youth? Have you heard what the youth actually want? Have you heard what the youth are saying? So I believe that we should, move away from that character. We should move away from that lifestyle whereby we are excluding the youth in decision making, whereby we are making decisions for the youth and just forcing those decisions upon the youth. But we should include the youth in decision making. We should include the youth in everything that we do that concerns the youth. And to my fellow youth out there, guys, I want to tell you one thing. You know, this Africa that we live in, this continent that we live in, these countries that we live in, these are not countries that belong to the governments. These are not countries that belong to the leadership of these nations. These countries belong to us as the young people. They belong to us as the youth. And it's high time we take initiative. It's high time, you know, we come up with innovations that move our country forward. Sometimes it's not about the politics of the nation. It is about what you as an individual are doing to move that nation forward. It is about what you as an individual are doing to move the continent forward. I'll give you an example. I have a certain project that I do. I keep road runners, you know, those African chicks, those African chickens. You know, that is entrepreneurship.
Yes, I've seen that.
That is entrepreneurship on my part, right? I keep my chickens. They grow up. I sell them. That has nothing to do with the government. There's no way the government comes in there. I've taken initiative. You know, I've told myself that no, let me do this. You know, let me have something that I do, something that helps me to move my life forward. At the same time, something that shows that I'm contributing to society. The government does not come in there. So my, you know, encouragement to you guys is let us not fold our hands and blame everything on the government. The government might be failing to do what it is supposed to be doing for its people. But what are you as a person, as an individual, as a youth in Africa, as a youth in Zimbabwe, South Africa, Malawi, Zambia, Tanzania, Uganda, Nigeria? What are you doing to complement the efforts of the government, which might be failing? So I believe this has more to do with us as the youth. This has more to do with us and our characters, you know, what we believe in, what we want to do. I believe that if we push ourselves to do something, if we believe in ourselves as the youth of Africa, nothing will stop us. Nothing will stop
That's
us.
right.
I have so much belief, you know, in the youth. I have so much belief in what the youth of, you know, this continent can do, the youth of this world can do. I have seen projects that lack funding. I have seen ideas coming from the youth that lack support. This shows that the youth, they have great mind, they have great things in there. So let's not sit on our, you know, our hands, let's not sit on our minds, but let's think, let's create, let's be innovative. Even if you have an idea and you approach someone and it doesn't work for the first time, don't give up. Don't
That's
give
right.
up. There is
That's
no
right.
success in giving up. You need to keep pressing on. You need to keep pressing on. You need to keep pressing on until something happens. One thing that I'm certain of is that at the end of it all, something will definitely happen. I'll give you an example of the guy who came up with the light bulb that we now use, you know, these days. That guy failed 1,000 times. If he had given up after failing for the first time, we wouldn't be having, you know, these light bulbs that we use today. But he failed 1,000 times. He did not give up. He kept on pressing until he got it right. So my message to you as a youth in Africa is whatever you do, whatever office you approach, even if they turn you back, do not give up. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing. Because I know that definitely something will happen. You are not, you know, a person of no value. You are not a person of no importance. You are a person with a lot of value. What you think, you know, what is in your mind, there is a lot of value in you. There is a lot of value, you know, on you as an African youth. So I encourage you guys. This is my encouragement. You have an important role to play when it comes to the development of Africa. Remember what I said? I said almost 60% of the population of Africa are youths. This is no joke. This means that already you are taking up the majority of the continent. But what are you doing? What are you doing as the youth to move the continent forward? So this is on you guys. This is on us as the youth of Africa. It's time for us to rise up. It's time for us to get up. It's time for us to think. It's time for us, to be entrepreneurs. It's time for us to take action and stop blaming the government, stop blaming the institutions for everything, that happens when it comes to us as youth. At the same time, I, urge the African governments to involve youth in decision making, to involve youth in policy making. I urge the African governments, to make up spaces in as much as we want to be, in there as youth. We cannot be in there without the help and the assistance of the elders who have gone before us. So my encouragement, my what I urge the African governments, what I urge the African institutions and leadership to do is to lift up the youth of the African continent. Walk with them. Do not shut the doors on them. Do not shut the doors on us, because we are the future and we need to be involved. So let's work together. This is not about us as the old guard. We should be in charge. We should know. This is about involving the youth and making sure that the future of Africa is safeguarded and Africa is moving towards greater development. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you so much. That was Reiti Chemvura, who is a UZ student, who is an entrepreneur, and as you heard, he is keeping the road runners. How much I love the road runners. Time for Christmas. I'm one of the customers. I saw when he started the project and he said by December, I need to have more than 100. And I saw the project starting. This is not something that is just saying for the sake of saying. That's Reiti Chembra, who is a PAICTA youth ambassador for the Zimbabwean chapter, sharing on the importance of youth in economic development. And I love how he is putting it out there and also encouraging African governments to have a succession plan. You can't be like we actually, here in Africa, we actually have youth ministers who are 65 years old, and somebody who is going to take over from him is somebody who is between the ages of 40 to 48. And you ask yourself, really, where are we? We should at least have somebody who is younger. If you are a leader in whatever you are doing and you are 25, at least your deputy should be somebody who is 15, so that the succession plan, we can always, they can always take over, learn new things. And, odd dogs, they can't always, learn new tricks, I must say. And I know that Hadi is having issues with network. If you are also having issues with network, you can keep changing the position of your router or wherever you are. It helps a lot with. It's always good with the platform that we are using. It doesn't give us much problem. I would like to read what the comments that we have. Sehalo said we are within. Ronnie Goodman, I love it. Hello, PAICTA is greeting you. Then we have somebody from Becky Mutlaung. Let's celebrate. And we have Ajamu for representing the UNAF. Now we're saying we are present. Powerful economic collaboration and unity is very important for the future of all of Africa. Government involvement becomes minimized when we have a strong collaborative economic cooperation and a sustained economy. That's King Ajamu. Thank you. Ronnie Goodman, power in the next generation technology for us. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So thank you so much to those who just tuned in to Radio 54 African Panorama. This is Matarenda Shumba with PAICTA in the house, talking about all things ICT and entrepreneurship and the power of engagement. Let's wait for our guest, who is Ms. Khadima Manakana. She's having issues with the network. I would like to move to The lady in the house from PAICTA, wow, she's looking so youthful, so beautiful, and all of that. I think this, I urged, our male counterparts to say it's during the 16 days of activism. If the women are not looking good, I'm questioning from the father, the uncle, the brother, everybody around that woman. Is she okay? So Geraldine, who is the chairperson of PAICTA Zimbabwean chapter, growing brands online and small business growth. This is very, very important. Welcome, Geraldine.
Hi, Martha. Thank you for having me. So my name is Eve, and I am the PAICTA chairperson for the Zimbabwean chapter, which is going places and doing a lot of things in the ICT sector, because our main mandate is to champion digital transformation in Zimbabwe. So today my topic is really, I'm passionate about three things. I'm passionate about digital transformation, I'm passionate about small businesses, and I'm passionate about the youth, because I'd just like to comment on what the former presenter was talking about, where he's saying that the youth are the future. I actually believe otherwise. I think that the youth are the present, and I also agree with him when he said that the country belongs to us. And as youth, we've got a lot of to give us an opportunity. But I'm always saying that if you're not given a chair at the table, take a chair and join the table with your own chair. Or if you are not given the table to go on, create your own table. So just to comment on, thank you very much, Ray, for the very informative discussion that we just had. So I'm talking about why digital transformation is very important for small business growth. And it's if just statistics, recent studies actually show that worldwide technologies and services are spending about $2.3 trillion from they've been spending that from 2019 to date, and there's been a steady expansion of digital spending to reach this figure. So if you see people willing to place so much money in that, it shows you for a fact that if you're not on the digital, if you're not putting your business on digital, then you're really not doing a good job. So maybe some people are wondering why should I even put my business on the digital space? I mean, we've been doing this traditionally and it's been working. But this is one thing we have to learn in the generation that we're staying in, we're living in. We are living in a microwave generation. I call it a microwave generation because we expect things to be like 5 seconds and it's already hot. And if I buy pizza, I expect it in the next 5 to 10 minutes. If it's whatever, if it's a delivery, if I buy something, I expect it in the next few minutes. So if your business is not with that, customers right now are expecting service on demand, where people are no longer really patient to wait for you. So if you're not on digital, I'm always giving this example where I've seen how, if you're on a Facebook page, for an example, you see how it tells you that other pages similar to this page. And most likely, those pages are your competitors. And so someone comes on your page and they're like, hi, how much are your glasses? And then you are not there. And then the next thing, Facebook simply says, oh, this person is not responding to you. Oh, okay, cool. You can go to the next person. And you've already lost revenue because as much as many people might not like it, we're in this generation that expects things to be done there and there. So that's one of the reasons why you're supposed to be on digital. And when you're on digital, just don't be on digital for the sake of being on digital. Be on digital and be effective. Be there on demand. Make sure that you've got a team, or if you can't afford a team, at least we've got so many apps. We've got Facebook pages, we've got LinkedIn apps, we've got which actually give you notifications every time anyone communicates with you on the digital space, on any of your digital platforms. So that's one of the reasons why you're supposed to be on digital. And then COVID-19 has been a very, very interesting chapter of businesses, where we have actually realized that we can actually go for a while without going to work, and we have to still remain productive and effective. So because of the digital space, it helps our employees as small businesses be more effective. And it also means that you are able to employ fewer people, which is going to be well within your budgets. For an example, digital has managed to automate a lot of things. There are some things that needed 4 people to do it, maybe someone to capture data, someone to do this, someone to do this. That job can be done by 1 person, because digital has allowed us to then do that. So it makes us seem more effective. Right now, as I'm here presenting, a message can come in from one of my team members, and I can quickly respond and say, okay, fine, guys, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. So it takes me to my next point, where digital helps us to make decisions very fast. So when we have moved past that time when we'd say, oh, okay, I think I need to set an appointment with the CEO, or with my team, I'm the CEO of 143 Communications. If there's anything that my team needs, we have taken out that red tape bureaucracy, where they can actually come straight to me and say, boss G, so tell us, there's this client who's saying this, this, and that. What should we say to the client? And then you make a decision fast, which means that you're not going to have a frustrated client. So that's one of the reasons why you're supposed to be on digital. So far, I've talked about 3 reasons why you're supposed to be on digital. 1, all your clients are expecting service on demand. 2, it's helping your employees be more effective, and it's also helping you to be more productive, and have fewer people doing a lot more work. So number 3, I always say this, that the basis of any success to a small businesses is the power of the business and maintain relationships. Digital has helped us, has taken us to a space where it is easy for us to make and keep on maintaining our relationships. It has helped us to strengthen our business partnerships. It's easy to know what your client is doing. It's easy to know to mine data, because, to be honest, this is one weakness that we have as people on the digital space. We volunteer information. If it's my birthday, if it's my anniversary, if it's anything. So it's easy now for us to mine data from our clients, to know that, okay, fine, these are the things that make our clients happy. If we're going to be doing gifts at the end of the year, I know that our client likes blue, because they said, oh, my favorite blue dress. Oh, blue is my favorite. Always been saying, I've been putting it on my status. And, and there's something that where if anyone has my number, they know that I've got like awesome statuses. I'm always putting memes, and I just go to your status and I know that I'm going to be all right. So my client, and one of my clients has said that to me. So the next time I want to build a relationship with a client, it's easy for me to build a relationship with the client, because I've had access to their lives. and they've had access to my life. So that's one of the reasons why we are. It would be uh, 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 an advantage for you to have your business and how you can grow your business on the digital space. And contrary to popular belief, yes, a lot of you, when we talk about digital, they always talk about the risk, security risk, being hacked, being what. The reason why we end up being hacked and we end up invest in the security or to invest in our in securing our information. To be honest, the cloud, and if we're using the right channels, is one of the more secure places to um, to have the information. I was having a conversation with a friend, a colleague of mine today in the morning, and they were telling me that everything in there, they own they run she's a tailor. She runs a fashion shop. So her things got, unfortunately there was a fire and stuff like that. So I was just giving an encouragement. I was saying how these things happen in business. And I was telling you of a time when, as a business, one time after a holiday, we came and all our laptops, all our tabs, everything that was in the office had been stolen. And the first thing that she asked me was, so tell me, had you backed up your information? And I was honest with her. I said, no, we hadn't. That's when I learned how to use the cloud. So I'm not just talking about security in terms of hacking. I'm talking about security in terms of if anything happens to the machines that we're using, if anything happens to our our information. That time we learned the hard way, even though we're a digital transformation company, because we've been in this business for now 5 years, and we're an award-winning company. There's some things that we had to learn the hard way as well, where we now had to learn that, okay, fine, the cloud is very important and we need to invest in the cloud and we need to actually pay something to make sure that our information and our clients' information is secure. So that's the first and final thing that I'm going to talk about on why you should have your business online and the importance of how you can grow or could help you to grow your business online. And that's just my encouragement to everyone that's out there. That's everyone that's running a business. Please go really for your own growth. Uh, if you're not going to be on digital, I'm telling you, you're not going to be growing as fast as you're supposed to be growing. And take advantage of the free information that digital has given us out there. So that's my story. And if you have taken nothing out of the things that I've said, please just take this one thing. Please put your business on the digital space, despite the fact that that's where your market is. Um, Everyone is on digital right now. If I ask you how many of you who are watching now, how many of you are on WhatsApp, how many of are you on Facebook? Of you are on Facebook? What time do you even spend on the digital space? Then you realize that exactly the people that you're trying to reach out to, that's the exact time or even more time than they're spending on the digital space. So it means that it is the way to go. um, the digital space is your reception, whereas back then we used to go out there and we'd go on the reception, and imagine you're walking into a reception and there's shabby furniture and there's what your first reaction is got, okay, are these people really going to be giving me effective service with their shabby reception? So that's the same with digital. If someone goes on your digital platform and they're looking at it and they're like, oh, okay, those guys, I think they're just going to take my money and run with it. These people are just going to run away with my money. I'll take you. I'll just my last contribution because of time. I'll take you through the journey how we came up to now realized that digital was the way we wanted to be going. We were hosting an event. I just started the company 143 Communications, and we're hosting an event, a networking event, because I would go to companies to try and get business, and they'll be like, "We don't know you." So I decided, okay, fine. How best can people know me? Let's host events. So I started hosting events. So our first event was a networking event where it was titled "On Your Marks." Like, you were saying that this was time, if your business, the networking event was the one that was supposed to push forward your business. So we started this event, and we're marketing and marketing and marketing. I've got a God gifted talent of marketing, so I found my way in one of the biggest organization, NGOs in Zimbabwe, Plan International. And I was there, and I sold. I could see the reactions on people's faces, like, yeah, yeah, like I'm selling. I could see the money coming, and they were like, no, we want to buy 6 tickets. And to me, it was like, oh my goodness, this is going well. And then they had the head of communications. She was just silent all this while as I was pitching. And she said to me, so Geraldine, I see that your idea is very noble and it's very good. And I feel like it's a very, very good idea. Can you please just take us through your social media pages? And I was just blinking there because I knew that the last time I posted on our social media was 23 days ago. And I knew, as soon as she said that, I knew I'd lost the business. So she said to me, then she went through our page and she says, "How do I know that?" She asked me, "How do I know that you're not a fly by night company?" And I said, "Because," and I tried to defend myself that I'm not a fly by night company. I've got papers, I'm registered, I'm like this, I've got references. But her question still remained: the fact that you are not visible on the digital space. How do I know that you are not a fly by night company? And guess what?
That's right.
They didn't come. I went
Ish.
down and started re-strategizing what I wanted to do for my company, what I wanted to do. That's when I started having a passion for digital, because I thought that there are so many struggling small businesses like me who actually know what they are doing, but because they are not there on the digital space and they are not showing the things that they can do on the digital space, they are losing so much businesses. Yet they've got so much talent, and yet so right now, as you're sitting and you're watching this presentation, you've got so much talent. You've got the means to get your business to where you want it to be. You've got the employees. You've got the human capital. You've got the brains. But the reason why you are where you are as it stands is because you are not investing on the digital space. I'm not even talking about just businesses. I'm even talking about individuals who want to write. We're not all meant to be entrepreneurs, hey? Um, Otherwise, who would we employ anyway? So, but what I'm saying is, there's some people that want to employ you, but because your profile picture is someone who's pouting and going like, okay, they're wondering, okay, okay, fine. What are you really going to do here? And there's someone who wants to promote you, but because your weekend statuses is saying, hey, what's the Friday? Hey, we're popping the champagne. And someone is wondering, okay, this is Sunday at 5 p.m. This person is there. Are they going to be effective tomorrow? So, my point is, digital has become the space where people are actually looking. You have to be really deliberate about your digital space as an individual brand and as well as a business. So, I think but I talk a lot. So, I think that's all I have to say to give other people the chance to speak. Thank you very much, Martha, for having PAICTA on the show. We're really delighted, and we need to champion the digital transformation. And thank you all for joining in.
Okay, thank you so much, boss. I know that you're boss G. I've been listening. So they call you boss G. And from now onwards, I'm going to call you boss G. And we also have President Ray Chemvura. I'm, oh, okay. I like titles. Trust me, I really, like those titles. Here is King Ajam saying, need good contact info from you, Geraldine, linking you up with the US business this side with our CEO. I'll give Ajamo your contact details, who is just communicating on our Facebook page. So I'll be able to link you up. King Ajamo, thank you so much for that. I'll link you up with Geraldine. He's actually listening, African diaspora, and he's so much interested in what is happening in Africa. And welcome to Simba and Mini, who just joined us in. And, I love what you said, Geraldine, when you, Boss G, when you said, it's of importance. What you put on your social medias also determine if customers are gonna come to you. Your statuses, you find out that you are posting funny stuff, where we're in the club at 9 p.m. on Sunday, and somebody wants to give you a business of which they're expecting you to deliver during the week. So sometimes we just need to make sure that our social platforms says who we are. You rather have your own private and have a Facebook page, the link that you share. But this is what I do. Anytime somebody contacts me for something, I go look for you on Google or on Facebook. If I don't find you, for some reason, I don't take you serious. I know that there are people out there who are not really up there regarding social media, but it is important. Where do I find you if anything were to happen? I want to know. And also, when it comes to your social media, there are people who create ghost accounts. So you should also, I think, Geraldine, we have to bring you back in future so that we can share more on this topic and, educate people on how to protect themselves in terms of social media and so forth. You are well learned on this subject. And thank you. I would like to move to Simba, who've been struggling in getting in. Simba and Mini Lee Tagurei, respectively, sharing on business development and technology commercialization, how ICT is an untapped opportunity in Africa and how it can solve day-to-day problems in Africa. Welcome, Simba. Hi.
Hi, Martha. Thank you for hosting us. My connection is quite bad today. I'm not too sure if you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you now.
Thanks. That's better. So I don't think I will take much of my allocated time because I just want to ensure that I give my contribution in the shortest possible time, just in case I lose my connection again. What I've seen on the African space, especially to do with the opportunities in Africa, is most of the digital solutions and the IT solutions which are provided globally, they really don't have an African focus. So you'd find that from an African perspective, we've got to make do with whatever software solution has been provided out there, and then try to work within its structures. But you'll find that even in the corporate world, the way we do business is different from the way the people in the West do business. For example, those who are in the design business and those who are in digital marketing, design business, you'll find that sometimes you struggle to get black faces, African faces or online, and even if most of the apps they are not the African person conscious, so you'd find that to even get be they emojis and related tools to then maybe just show and relate from an African perspective, and to just give that African feel to a product, you actually quite struggle online. Possibly, those online surveys, as an example, you'll find that it's quite a few which are Afri-centric or African focused. So you'll find that most of these platforms, they are designed with the Western world in mind, and that's quite an opportunity for Africa to also tap into. If we give another example of PayPal, for example, it's just a few African countries which are PayPal active. So you'd find that when it comes to payments again, if you are in Africa, you will then also struggle in as far as making payments within Africa. If you want to buy something from Nigeria, South Africa, and possibly you are in Zimbabwe, we also struggle with payment gateways as well. So all those are opportunities, and what I believe is, if we are to provide solutions for Africa, which then directly focuses on African problems, I think we'll actually go quite far. If you move in the business world again, you'll find that we've got softwares like Pastel, which are designed more, with the Western world in mind, where business is done in a different way. But you'll find that if you then come down here in Africa, the entrepreneurs are more on the SME, small to medium scale, like what the Germans call Mittelstand economy, or the SME economy. The solutions which are provided are not necessarily provided with that in mind. So you'll find that the SMEs, they struggle a lot to get software which really speaks to their needs. Then the other thing that you can also look at from an African perspective is most of the African countries are agri-centric. In other words, they make money from agriculture, and you then find, rarely do you find a software which addresses the farmer's needs. A software which would assist a farmer to record the day he has put the seed in the ground, and record every activity they then undertake. Then at the end of the season, it then produces come up with the cost per plant. Let's say he's growing maize, as an example.
Right.
Like the actual
I think
farmers
we're
actually
losing
struggle to come up with the cost of growing one plant. So all those are areas where technology can actually then assist. And at the end of the day, if we develop technology which assists the African businesses and solve African problems, which necessarily are not the same problems faced by people in the other continents, like the European continent. So you'll find that rarely do you find an available solution in designed by Americans. Is the context, the American context is quite different from the African context. The problems they face in America, they are quite different from the problems we face in Africa. So if we keep on relying on European solutions in as far as ICT problems are concerned, you would find that there will always be a gap which is unsolved. And if we are to plug that gap by providing the necessary software, the necessary solutions, then we'll then start seeing a new age of African businesses and of African brands which are rising in the ICT space.
Okay, thank you so much, Simpa. I see network wants to be jealous, but thank you so much for what you have just shared. And I would like to quickly move to Queen Hadimanakana, because her network is just has been something else. So Queen Hadi is our guest today, and She's a professional consultant, a speaker, a scholar on entrepreneurship and strategy. The topic is on strategies to implement entrepreneurship in African societies. So we have heard everything about entrepreneurship and so forth, and she's going to share all the strategies to implement that. Welcome, Queen Managana.
Thank you so much for having me and for finally connecting. Hello?
Yes. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You can go on.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with today's topic, by the way, thank you so much for having me. With today's topic, my interest was in, because I'm also a student of entrepreneurship and also with special interest on the fourth industrial revolution. So my contribution today, I wanted to focus more on how to educate entrepreneurs as far as this buzzword of the fourth industrial revolution is concerned. Because what I have observed is that most entrepreneurs, they don't really grasp the concept, because they're thinking, when you talk about the fourth industrial revolution, we're talking about now making your business, they're thinking about an app technology. So just like the previous speaker who've just mentioned, that we need to contextualize the problems, shouldn't be adopting the European solutions in Africa. I'm also sharing the same sentiments, because I'm thinking that African entrepreneurs, they are losing out because they have a massive opportunity to leverage on the fourth industrial revolution, because they are people that come up with the solutions. So if we of industrial revolution to entrepreneurs in a context that they will understand it, like right now, instead of talking about Uber as one of the 4IR solutions, or talking about Airbnb, or talking about this analytics and everything and the robotics and everything, and trying to contextualize everything to what is relatable in South African context. Like, for example, right now, most entrepreneurs, they don't know that
I think her network is just jealous. She has quite a lot to share. I've been following her, and she's been doing a lot of talks on entrepreneurship. And her network just decided to act up today. Ubuthakathi nje, ubuthakathi. I would like, in the meantime, as we are waiting for her to. Oh, you back? Thank you.
I'm back. I thought you're hearing me, because I've been blabbering here on my side.
Yeah. We couldn't hear you.
Am I clear now?
Yeah. You were speaking to yourself. You are in now. You can continue.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, just get on where you left off.
For me, yes, my greatest concern is trying to. But I'm not sure where you got it, because I was not clear on your side. You couldn't hear me.
No. Carry on. We hear you now.
Hello?
Yes. You can carry on. We hear you. Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you. You can carry on.
Okay. So, yes. My concern was more on the education of regarding the fourth industrial revolution when it comes to entrepreneurs, because I believe that entrepreneurs have the massive opportunity to leverage on the fourth industrial revolution technologies to help us, the African countries. However, what will deny us of that opportunity to now have access to such opportunities that entrepreneurs can come up with is the fact that most of them, they don't understand the concept of the fourth industrial revolution. So I'm more in the teaching part of it. How do we deliver it to them? Like right now, most they're thinking that the fourth industrial revolution is about these massive technologies, these sophisticated technologies, but they do not understand that merely using social media, digital marketing, that is part of the fourth industrial revolution. And they also need to understand that the fourth industrial revolution, how is it applied? How can they apply it in their business? If they can understand what does it mean, then and also be advised on how it gets, does it in your business model, then that's when we can be able to now reap the fruits of the fourth industrial revolution. So I feel like the education when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution on the grassroots levels, they do not understand what it is. So I think we need to now try to simplify this buzzword of the fourth industrial revolution, to simplify, because if we do not decode it, we're going to end up being entrepreneurs that are just the consumers of the fourth industrial revolution other than the producers. And what we need as African entrepreneurs, we need to be producing new technologies. We should be looking at analytics, robotics, and cloud computing and seeing what can we come up with out of all these 3-4 technologies, instead of now waiting for somebody to come up with something. So what I'm trying to say is, if we are to leverage on the power of 4IR, we need to educate our entrepreneurs in simplest terms on what does this 4IR mean, so that we can be able to leverage on, we can be able to transform them from being the consumers of the fourth industrial revolution to the producers of technologies, and also contextualizing 4IR. Like right now, we need to bear in mind that in South Africa, for example, we can't be talking about smart cities in South Africa, whereas we have a problem with data connection. Now I had a problem with network. We still have problem with network connection. So we can't be talking about smart cities when we still have problem with energy. So we need to now we need to talk to a local entrepreneur to say, what are the problems that you're faced with? If it's health, if it's education system, if it's security, human trafficking in South Africa. So now it's a question of how can we use all these 4IR technology to solve the problems that are local to you, other than now what is happening in China, what is happening in the US, and trying to localize it in South Africa. It will work. The previous speaker said something about contextualizing, making like it's about applying African solutions on African problems. You can't be using European solutions on African problems. So for me, which is something that I continue to advocate for and I try my best to teach on, is simplifying the concept of the fourth industrial revolution. In a way that somebody who's starting a business today, they understand that, oh, this is how it can help me. It can help me when it comes to the business model, because the fourth industrial revolution is just simply about revolutionizing, changing your business model, how you do business, how you create value, how you deliver it to your customers. That is the simplest form to put it. But now, if we are selling it in the context of the US, in these bombastic words, they won't get it. And in the process, we're going to miss out on the massive opportunities that the 4IR has for us.
Okay. Thank you so much, Queen Khadimanakana. And I know that you really did your best making sure that network is not going to stop you. And I really, that's why I said keep on rebooting and come back, because I knew that you are passionate about this and you have a lot to share. And to everybody who just tuned in to the PAICTA team. This is Queen Khadimanakana, who is a guest today on our show, on the webinar, and she is very good at what she does. And I love that. I need to read some of the comments here before we can move to Queen Mini Lee Tabure. Oh, you guys are just gonna be queens here. Here you get titles. You just don't come here with your first name. You get titles, and I don't want to be caught, with all those things of 16 days. Like, no, she did not respect us. No, we just felt we were hurt, and it was during the 16 days. No, I don't want that on me. King Ajama is like, my question is, African descended people in the diaspora are ready to do real business with the continent and are digitally proficient. What are some platforms we can network with? So I'll get King Ajamo some contact details, and we're gonna see where we can take this with the panelists and PAICTA. And King Fazan Ajo, he's saying very powerful indeed. Follow here in Johannesburg. Thank you. Tabitha, UNAF South Africa present. Thank you so much, UNAF. You are always there to support. And we need to talk about those business differences between the African diaspora and the African continent, so we can develop a plan to really do business together. That's King Ajamo again. Roni is saying that's the key merging. Let me read. We should have our own computer servers. That's King Ajamu. Thank you so much. George Edward Rogers. Excellent input. Let's create our own. We are able. Thank you so much. Love this. It's a very powerful talk and advice. Tabitha, thank you. Tabitha, this is from UNAF. Needed to have their own academy. That's my cry for Africans. So to you, PAICTA, who is in the digital space, this is for you. There is a call for us to have our own computer servers. There's a call to have our own academies here in Africa. And like Queen Hadmanakana said, we need to have our own African solutions that we apply to our African problems. And let's move into Queen Minnie Tagwiri, who is the Continental Head of Business Development and Technology Commercialization for PAICTA. She's an entrepreneur. She has done quite a lot. I can say that. And we are honoring them. Abafazi Mbokodo, Womandla. Without them, we won't go anywhere. So over to you, Queen Minnie.
All right, thank you very much, Martha, for the nice introduction. For me, on my side, when I'm looking at youth entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship in general on the continent, I will agree with the previous speaker and the other previous speaker, Simba, because they've touched on very good points of solving African problems with African solutions. So I'm just going to add on to that by saying, as a continent, I think we need something that connects us, something that we are lacking right now. Because if you're to travel to Europe, you'll find that Europe is like one giant country. You move from Germany to Netherlands without spending a lot of money, which is very impossible for us here on the continent. It's very hard for somebody to just travel from Egypt to South Africa because you need to spend a lot of money. If you're looking at flights, the same amount that you spent going to UK today from South Africa is the same amount that you spent from South Africa to go to Zimbabwe. So that alone does not make any sense. If only we could have our own mode of transportation as well, because we need to get to know each other as a continent. And remember that we were just divided by borders that were created in 1884 by the partition, when the partition of Africa happened, the scramble for Africa. But when we're looking at that, these are some of the structures that we need to destroy as a people for us to be able to move forward. Because right now, you'll find that it's very hard for us to relate to each other. We tend to hate each other because we don't know each other, because we cannot afford to travel. So if you're looking at entrepreneurs that are coming up right now, they're very curious and they want to have solutions for Africa. So these are some of the things they need to look at. How do we connect Africans? Not using Facebook, because Facebook, you'll find that it just uses your demographics, your geography, and then the friends that they suggest are the ones that you already know, either because you're from Zimbabwe or you're from Kenya. And if you connect with someone who is not in your country, it's only because you know them personally or you've heard about them, and then maybe they'll suggest friends from there. So these ICT structures need to be created by us, something that connects all of us across the continent. And then you also find that there is a lot of problems we are facing in our societies. I think the previous speakers have already touched on this. But now these problems, only us can understand them, only us can come up with solutions for those problems. You find that Africa, I always say Africa is made up of entrepreneurs, but it's made up of uneducated and inexperienced entrepreneurs. Because even in rural areas today, you find that there are entrepreneurs there. So creating ICT structures that can actually support these entrepreneurs and give them some limelight is very, very necessary for the development of the continent. Because you find that there is a grandfather who has made a lot of money just from selling cows or goats, and no one gives any credit to that person because it's not considered as entrepreneurship. But if we could actually find ways to put some limelight on what we are doing as a continent, it would actually be amazing. Someone can take from me on this.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Gray. Thank you so much for presentation and for your add-ins. It is really appreciated. I'm just getting some responses here. There's somebody who is actually very excited. It's like, I'm very excited for this. These queens are just power. This is what we need. Thank you so much, ladies, for representing us so well during these 16 days of activism. We just don't come here with the bruises and stuff. We also come with the solutions, apparently digital solutions. And as the mothers, the sisters, when we also lead economically, it works better for the nation, for our villages, for our communication. Somebody's saying, these queens are just making my day a great one. Love you all. That's John Paul. Sorry, your surname, I can't pronounce it. Then in African Facebook or social network, powerful and clear direction from Ronnie. Need an African social network. Thank you so much for all of that. We will definitely come up with something that is going to favor Africa in the near future. Sooner or later, we are working on that. And personally, I must say, I'm so proud to be part of Radio 54 African Panorama, to be able to host such webinars that is connecting people and sharing valuable information. So we are a Pan-African radio station that is online, which is connected digitally. So this is the power of ICT. And now we are able to, to engage people. We are able to come together to partner to do all of this. Number two, I'm so also proud to be the head of entrepreneurship at PAICTA. This is a great opportunity. I've always loved this, and it's a learning curve. Let's take this together to the next level. To my guys at UNAF, thank you so much. To Africa Diaspora, I see George Edward Rogers and King Ajamu, those are Africa Diaspora, and Rooney Goodman, the Africa Diaspora, they are here, they're tuned in there, and they want to contribute to African problems. Mr. Sonwa Mbaba, I've been putting you on hold, and I know that you are listening from behind. I want to thank you. You have planted one sentence in my head, and it hasn't left me. The power is in the wallet. Since he said those words, I can't take it out. He's just said it. He summed up. He said the power is in the wallet, and I started drafting stuff based on what he said. And the future is in our own hands. And I would like to ask him to actually say something regarding why is it important to instill the culture of entrepreneurship in Africa. I hope you'll be able to connect and answer us on this one. Why is it so important to instill? Yeah, I hope his network is good.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Martha, you always find a way of making me talk. Actually, today.
President, I think the network is bad.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I don't know. I think maybe your connection, the headphones or the mic, I'm not sure. It's kind of making, yeah, it's still kind of kind of noise.
I think it's my network. It seems like we've got network problems, all of us, which is why Africa must have its own network that is owned by Africans. Because we understand the dynamics that we have in our continent. I was saying, I hope you heard that it is interesting, Martha, in that you always find a way of getting me to talk. I was just here today to support entrepreneurship and to support the lovely ladies that are on screen as I'm looking at now. I am very proud to be associated with such gifted, such dynamic entrepreneurs. I've always believed, and I've had many discussions with you, that women are natural leaders. Women are natural entrepreneurs. They're the people that always go, even at home, make sure that the children have eaten, everyone is well, and still work to bring everything and make sure that everything happens. In Africa, I think it's in our DNA to be entrepreneurs. We've always managed to find and do things and sustain ourselves. And if we do it as a collective, it's even better. In many years ago, many years ago, we used to work as a collective, and as a collective, we're able to sustain and develop and bring bring growth in our communities. But that, for some reason, has disappeared. We need to go back and dig deep and get that. In business, we need to work as a collective. PAICTA exists to support youth, as one of the speakers has indicated, that youth in Africa is over 60%. Women is
That's right.
50 plus percent. Can you imagine natural entrepreneurs, natural leaders, women, given an opportunity to engage and to be active participants in the economy, that will empower them and be emancipated? You don't have, as you've said, Martha, you don't have to wait and ask so-and-so, what am I going to eat? What am I going to buy? Women must be emancipated. As entrepreneurs, you are going to get that emancipation. And on the youth side, PAICTA yesterday, we successfully hosted our first hackathon, where we're able to show and display to everyone that creativity in the youth and is a very it's an innate thing. It just needs to be taken up or brought up and supported. I think that's all I'm prepared to say at this point. I think I talked too much. But I'm proud to be associated with everyone in PAICTA, to every stakeholder that we have out there, and other people that are out there to participate and engage and partner with PAICTA. We dream big in the organization. I'm sure Martha will say this. We are 4 months old, and we've done a lot, I think, for 4 months old organization. Please, people out there that are listening, let's partner with PAICTA Youth Chapter. Resuna is a capable young gentleman that is got capacity to lead, guide, and even train and develop people on entrepreneurship. Look, I've got a solid team. PAICTA without Martha, without Geraldine, who's based in Zimbabwe, without Mini, who looks at business development, who's got passion on development in entrepreneurship and in funding of ideas. Let's look at these things and say, and there's a sister that is here who consults on entrepreneurship. Let's embrace the God-given gift and go forward. Rise, Africa, rise.
That's so true. Thank you so much for setting up the platform and being able to put together people, capable people who are ready not just to talk, but to take this to the next level. We have seen a lot of people who are doing stuff, and it's been taking years because there is power in collaboration, there is power in engagements, there is power in partnerships, and the right team can take any idea to the next level. You just need that. African, it's a comment here, African women are natural administrators and Africa's greatest resource and foundation. Yes, PAICTA is taking giant steps forward for Africa. Thank you so much to the listeners who are actually commenting, listening, and responding. I saw a lot of excitement, and I'll be sharing some of the good news that I just received in my inbox just now for something that's going to happen. Because somebody was listening, and guys, you are doing a great work in your presentations, and we need to keep talking, we need to keep doing more, we need to keep taking action. Arisuna, I just want to congratulate you for yesterday. You guys did very, very, very well. We'll be sharing the pictures. I think the pictures are already on PAICTA Facebook page. Thank you so much for setting the pace. You are doing well, and the career development side is going to assist a lot of young people who don't know where to from here. People just believe that you need to get that PhD, that master's, so that you can get to the next level, while a lot of problems are just left unsolved. And you mentioned poverty, unemployment, and inequality as those three things that we need to fight and eradicate. And thank you for the emphasis on that. And I would like you to, hello? Oh, okay, I thought you were saying something. To share more about how you believe we can work with students, we can work with colleges, high schools, and so forth to instill the culture of entrepreneurship through career development and career guidance. Resuna, are you still with us?
Yes. I'm still with you. As I've indicated at the beginning, that what we need to do first is to establish a platform, and I can say that already we've established the platform through PAICTA. So PAICTA, in the coming 2 weeks, on the 12th of December, we'll be having a career development webinar. We'll be discussing what kind of careers can people look for to sustain themselves in the fourth industrial revolution. Then that speaks to your digital skills. It speaks to everything in ICT. So people should just tune in on that day. But just to briefly mention something, as I mentioned earlier, is to say we need to stop with the idea that technology is here to replace people. Technology is not here to replace people, but technology is here to make the lives of people more efficient and effective in whatever they do. So then we need to position ourselves, because I think one of the biggest challenges is that young people, mostly even in the rural communities, were not well positioned for us to strive and succeed in this fourth industrial revolution, which is here to make lives easier. So now when we speak about how can we partner with schools, how can we partner with universities, how can we partner with different institutions, as PAICTA Youth will be looking for mentors, from the industry, to say, how do we go into the rural communities? How do we go into schools, across the countries that we are present in? And by the way, just to mention, PAICTA exists now in about 6 countries. How do we go into the communities of those countries that we exist in? Just to begin with Zimbabwe, South Africa, and say, let us build capable young people in those communities through mentorship, because some of the people, they are really good, they are skilled, but they are talented, but they do not have people to guide them to say, if you want to succeed in this is where you are supposed to go. So through mentorship, through the mentorship program, we're going to exist in different universities. Currently, we're working on having a youth, a student chapter at the University of the Witwatersrand. I have also been notified that we exist at the University of Zimbabwe. So those are the kind of partnerships that we're going to be working on, that we're going to be ensuring that we have access to whoever needs assistance or needs guidance as far as the ICT industry is concerned. And also through partnerships like we had yesterday, being actively participating in universities through the hackathons that we had, just like you were saying, Martha, that we had a successful hackathon yesterday. So those are the kind of interventions that we need to have to ensure that the young people are actively participating and are included in this fourth industrial revolution. I hope that answers the question.
Oh, that's awesome. It definitely answers the question, and thank you so much for that. I'm doing this for some of the listeners who've been asking some questions in the background. And Queen Khadimanakana, is there anything on the pipeline? I know that you've been doing quite a lot. You've been doing talks, and do you have anything lined up for 2021 or anytime soon that any of our listeners can engage you on?
Well, as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, yes, I'll be launching a virtual business development program. So they can follow it on my Facebook, because I'm going to launch it like the 1st of December, like in the next 2 days. But when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution, I'm still going to continue, because I've recently just released a journal on decoding X industrial revolution, because I wanted. I've learned that specifically in South Africa, most young people, like from students, from employees, from businesses, even some government, they don't really understand the concept of the fourth industrial revolution. So I wanted to take them back to the first, the second, until the fourth, so they understand why it exists. Because some people right now, what we do right now is we're trying to push it back, whereas it is here to stay. And whether we want it or not, whether we believe it or not, it's going to be here. And those what we call technology unemployment is going to happen. This idea of technologies replacing our jobs and everything, we're going to experience that issue whereby people lose jobs because businesses are digitizing, because we are not ready to now align ourselves with this change that is happening right now. So for me right now, I'm still going to continue with the education on social media, blog about the industrial revolution, be available for such platforms where I can speak more about this thing, so that young people alike, entrepreneurs alike, to understand really what this thing means and how they can apply it and how they can adapt. So basically, from my side, I'll be more on the education part of things, where I try to advocate for this and try to simplify it as easy as possible, to make it as easy as possible. And even you mentioned the thing about having student chapters, and like PAICTA having student chapters in universities locally and all that, I would like to get involved, specifically speak about the fourth industrial revolution. I can offer a lecture on that. So that's what I would like to do.
Oh, thank you so much, Amandla Awetu. I believe that you guys are listening, and we are really engaging a lot of people who are getting interest in this. And Khadi, I'll be able to connect with you with the right person to speak to. Then we can take it to the next level on what we are going to do to work together with you. And Geraldine, it's during the 16 days of activism. Do you feel that women are really involved in the digital space, or we are just fitting in because it fits the narrative and the village headman suit? I had to just throw that one. I wouldn't have gone without just saying that.
I think she's on mute.
No, I'm not.
Sorry about that.
Ah.
Technology. Anyway,
Okay.
thank you very much, Martha, for your question. I like to use examples to answer my questions, like real life examples of things that actually happened. There was a time when we wanted to employ, and so like I said, we run a digital agency. We've been running it for the past 5 years. We wanted to employ, and we put out a CV, and we put out a job advert, and a lot of people applied. And of all the people that applied, there were only 2 women who applied, of all the applicants who applied for the position. And of the 2 women, I have to say that the feminist in me came out and said, let me just shortlist those guys because they're the only women that that applied for the job. And then unfortunately for me, the 2 women did not even show up for the interview. So this shows how much women are not, as much as we're trying, we're not really active in the digital space, and we're not taking the digital space by its horns to do what we're supposed to do. And I would like to see more women active. I'd like to see more women using the digital space to make their lives better, to grab all the opportunities that are there. And I remember there was a time we actually, I think, offered some free digital courses online, and most of the people that applied for those free digital courses were men. And the main women were just, I don't know why they didn't apply, and why they didn't join them. But we had maybe 60 or 70% of people joining them. So I think sometimes, as much as we blame the patriarchal society, as much as we blame the fact that we've been disadvantaged a lot as women because of our social roles that are expected of us, I believe that sometimes it's also us who are not taking action, and who are not taking the opportunities that are presented to us, or who are not creating the opportunities for us. To some extent, the fact that we are not on digital is on us. So yeah, that's my response. I hope I responded to your question, Martha.
Yeah, no, you did very well, and I saw one of the village headmen clapping hands, and I knew that you have taken their sides. As long, I'm sure that you are not coerced, manipulated, or. Minnie, do you also support what Geraldine just said as we are wrapping up in the next 10 minutes?
Yes, totally. I have a very close relationship with Cape Innovation Technology City, and they have courses for only female entrepreneurs, and these are free courses that they're providing. And they have a problem with people that just sign up and then they don't show up. So I can relate exactly to what Geraldine is saying. Last time they actually approached us asking if we know women that would be interested in joining their program, because they can't find any women. And yet there are so many unemployed women that do not have skills, that are not taking advantage of those courses. My response to them was, go to other African countries. Go to Zimbabwe, you see that it will be full. But now, Geraldine, I understand you're in Zim.
Yes.
So I literally lied to them. Zim women are not showing up as well. So yeah, I totally agree. It's our fault that we are not utilizing the resources that we are getting as women. And we are actually at a point whereby as women, we have a platform and we have access that we can actually use to our advantage. But you find that out of 100%, only about maybe 25% of women are willing to do the work. Most of them are not willing to do it, maybe because it's because of the societies that we grew up in that advocate for us to get married, because every time you see an auntie, they're like, when are you going to get married, when are you going to have a baby? So maybe it's all about priorities. I honestly don't know, but yes, I do agree with Geraldine. Okay, let me just add, because there's a lot of silence. I had an issue. We're going back to ICT entrepreneurship in
Okay,
Africa.
thank you so much. I think in terms of our societies, I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
You're now breaking a bit. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can hear you, Geraldine.
Okay.
Yes, Mini.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. I was
I don't
saying,
know.
when it comes to ICT in Africa entrepreneurship, I had an issue on LinkedIn the other day where this guy, an American guy with my connection on LinkedIn, was applauding Joe Biden, telling him that it's now time to concentrate on Africa, telling him about African problems, what and not. And I say to him, how can you be American and tell us what we need? So I think it's time for us to actually show up as Africans, because we are really underestimated out there. It's like we don't have a voice internationally. We are just seen as this very poor continent that is in need of aid. And that's not who we are. At least I believe that that's not who we are. So I think it's time we actually start showing up, start raising our voices, start developing this technology that will actually catch the be noticed worldwide, be noticed internationally, have service offerings that other countries worldwide can also use, like Facebook. It's American, but we're using it here in Africa. If we can get to that point where we develop technology, even if it's not technology, inventions that can be utilized worldwide, it would really be great moving forward for Africa. And I think we are the generation that can actually do it, because they don't call us millennials for nothing. And fortunately, us millennials in Africa, we are just the same as millennials everywhere else. And now we have Gen Z as well. And I think we actually want to make everybody see that we are able and we are capable. So that's my contribution now. Let's just show up. Let's start doing things that actually get noticed worldwide.
Okay, thank you so much, Amini, for that. You see a comment here from Mr. Sonwabo Mtwaba. Teamwork. We are committed to working together with all our stakeholders and potential partners towards enhancing youth development, which is quite great. We need to take this to the next level. And as young people, we need to show up, women as well. We need to also show up and implement all those ideas that we've been thinking about. Someone once said to me, when a woman is angry, right, she cleans the whole house overnight. She polishes everything. But why are we not angry enough to come up with the solutions? Not just cleaning our own house, but you get angry to say we've been excluded. Now I want to come up with this kind of technology. Now I want to put my all in everything that I'm doing, because I'm angry because of inequality. I'm angry because of abuse. I'm angry because of this. But we get angry and we get frustrated, do lies that are not necessary and so forth. So it is also time for us to say, okay, We can do this. Somebody's writing here saying there are Americans on this side who know we are Africans and want to help Africa become very powerful economically. We on this side are an extension of you. Okay, thank you so much, King Ajamo, for those words. We really appreciate you looking in and listening to this webinar. Risuna, do you have anything that you want to say before we close off?
No, there's not much to say, but I would like to thank everyone for coming through. I would like to thank our speakers that gave us their time to come and address the issue on African entrepreneurship for the fourth industrial revolution and beyond. Which leads us to the understanding of the Society 5.0, you know. And I would also like to thank you, Martha, for hosting us, for leading us well through this engagement. And I would like to thank everyone who's listening from wherever they are. I would like to say, let us continue engaging as far as advancing the ICT industry is concerned, as far as driving, being equity drivers, as far as the digital era and transformation is concerned. I would like to finish by saying that do not forget to engage us on our social media platforms, Pan-African Information and Communication Technology Association, PAICTA, and also check us on our website. That's where you'll also find our details, www.paicta.org. Your membership form is ready online for you to be part of these drivers of equity as far as the digital era is concerned. Thank you very much, Martha.
Okay, thank you so much. Hadi, any closing remarks in the next 30 seconds?
Well, for me, I would like to say that I'm angry enough. So, like you said, women should be angry to come up with solutions. So I'm ready to go on. Seriously, I feel like it's time. We really need to do it. You need to be angry. So I'm angry. Who is joining me? We need to be angry. I am.
Okay,
so
Amanda.
We are ready, and I'm ready to contribute towards building an Africa that is an Africa that is capable of coming up with technological.
Okay, Amanda, thank you. And Geraldine, any closing in the next 30 seconds?
Okay, thank you very much, Martha. I always say that I want to be one of those people that are going to be known in the future, and for people to say that the Africa we know is this Africa because of Geraldine, because she did something. And I just want to encourage everyone out there that I kind of agree with Mimi that we actually don't need nobody. We need just to believe in ourselves, to know we've got what it takes to take Africa to the next level. We've got the intellect, we've got the resources, we've got everything that it takes. All we need is just to make up our minds and do it. So I'm inviting all the Africans out there, guys, let's make this a better continent. It's not anyone else's responsibility, but you who are sitting where you are. It is your responsibility. It is my responsibility. It is our responsibility to build the Africa we want to see.
Thank you, Minnie.
Yes, I'll just say I want to see African youth rising up, because we cannot have our kids' generation facing the same problems we are facing today. We should eliminate them, and we have the power to. So let's show up, Africa. That's all we need.
Okay, thank you so much, PAICTA. Thank you so much, everybody who just tuned in from the UNA, from the Africa Diaspora, Radio 54, those who are in the background, Studio Control, Steve. thank you so much for being part of this and to assist to make this possible. It was not going to be possible without all of us, and it's actually makes me happy to see you ladies on the forefront as we are getting angry and angrier each and every day to make this possible. We are wrapping up our Africa Youth Month, and we are focusing on entrepreneurship and engagement in creating the Africa we want, African solution to African problems. And we are going to say, when we are no longer here, when we are gone, people will know, history will remember us, will be written. I really want a to be named after me when I'm still alive. You know, just to name a street, even if it means I'm going to come up with a solution. We would, at least when we are gone, our grandchildren have something to look up to. So if you want to engage with us, that's www.PAICTA.org. You can find our information there, or you can actually inbox us, Radio 54 ways to connect with you. You can inbox me personally. I'll be able to share information, and I know that I'm already setting up a meeting with some people who just inbox me here, want to be part of PAICTA. So this is how we do it, where the gentleman earlier, Perseverance Ganga, who is also in who's also assisting and training young people in robotics. So we're also going to be connecting with him. He's doing quite well, already have 400 kids in his platform. So thank you so much, and have a lovely day. We are wrapping up. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank you, Martha. Have a blessed evening.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.